Hello Aries. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Ace of Wands. This is, it's sort of asking the question, who are we going to be? What are we putting our attention on? What are we focusing on? What are we putting our effort and our energy into? Okay. This is someone with a vision, right? This is someone with a lot to offer the world. I think you're a person with a lot of energy, with so much potential. We just have to be able to harness this and activate it and mobilize this energy. And I think you can accomplish the world, right? So I feel like something is sort of waking up your creative energy right now, and I want to see what that is. So we're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. We're going to put out the rest of our cards. And we've got more fire. We have this creative passion of the Lust or Strength card. We have a Two of Cups, a Two of Wands, a Six of Cups, holy smoke, and a Three of Wands. Wow, Ace, Two, and Three of Wands. If that doesn't say something's activated, something's growing, something's being put into motion, you're applying yourself to something that I think feels absolutely spectacular, right? Let's keep going. Let's put the rest of our cards out. This is extraordinary. We have a Queen of Swords, another Two. Wow. 2, 2, and 2 now. Things are changing fast for you. We have a Seven of Swords, and that makes sense, especially in that position. Our final card here, the Magician. Well, Aries, sit down for this. Your moment to make history. This is your moment, okay? I think whatever you are applying yourself to with this is going to lead to mastery, is going to lead to that total master magician energy, okay? Let's calm down. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and we're going to set that down right here with, no, not Kelly Kapoor. We're on to a new energetic cycle of readings, so this time it is Mr. Ed, our little horse. We'll scooch everybody else down. Now, we're not going to look at that mystery card until the end of the reading, all right? But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below, okay? Let's take a look around the room here. We've got major arcana. Two major arcanas, and they tell a story. They tell a story of a natural talent, a passion, something that just excites you, that lights you up, something that you really just have this enthusiasm and this interest in, right? And then we see the refinement of that. Then we see the mastery of that. Then we see putting in all the hard work, overcoming the doubt, overcoming the struggle to master this thing. It's kind of like you have a natural talent for something, okay? But that doesn't mean you're going to be good at it. That doesn't mean you're going to be successful at it. That doesn't mean that you're going to, kind of make history here in your life. We have to put in the work to get better at, to refine that talent, a natural talent, a passion for something. And then we have the magician, which is the skill and the mastery of that passion, okay? Similar if we had maybe a fool and the magician. That would be kind of, you have a natural gift, a natural talent, and you're going to refine it. And I think that's true, but I think we also need that passion. We need that enthusiasm. We need to be motivated. The fool is just untapped talent, right? An untapped natural ability for who knows what, for anything. But without that passion, without that fire, without that mobilization of this creative energy, you're never going to do anything with that. that fool natural talent, right? But you got it. You got the hunger. You've got the appetite. You've got the drive and the desire to do this. And these two cards. This tells the story here, right? And these two cards really talk about what forces are at work in your life right now and what the bigger picture is. These are things that are sort of beyond your control. It's sort of like saying it's just a natural part of the universe that if you discover what your passion is, that you have a natural talent for, but you have this hunger and this passion towards something, and you pursue it, it's only right that you're going to get better, you're going to refine that skill, and things are going to lead to a sense of mastery. It's sort of a natural progression. It's kind of Spirit's way of saying if you do it, you're gonna succeed at it. It's going to empower you. It's going to feel like it's a skill or a tool that you now is part of you, right? The rest of the cards, we have 1, 2, 3 fire. We've got 1, 2 water cards. We have 1, 2 air cards. And we got a little bit of earth energy. The earth energy is very minimal, as it has been in the readings lately, I think. At least for you. I think for all signs too, the earth energy's been sort of lower. And I think one reason for that is because it doesn't matter what you're doing. What matters is that you arrange your life, you make choices in the moment that are going to help you to follow your will, to follow this fire energy, this passion, this intention, this focus that you have, right? To follow your creative will. So the earth energy, what we see is the 2. We just see a card of change. The physical environment around you is changing. Your relationships are changing. You're making different choices. Now, making different choices based on this combination of cards. You're making choices based on this. You're a very creative person. You have the ability to really find something that you like, and you focus all your energy on it to the point where you're not even aware of the distractions. Nobody can interfere with this, right? So Spirit's telling you to right now discover this. What is it? Ask yourself the question. What is it that gives you this kind of passion? What is it that you can imagine doing? Maybe you're already doing it. Maybe you already know what it is. But what is it? Let's, say it out loud. Write it in your journal. Write it on a sticky note and put it all over your house. What is this passion for you? What is this interest that you have? Is this it's like the feeling I get when I'm playing drums. It's just, I get lost in it. I just can't imagine anything better, really. I mean, a few things maybe, but that kind of passion, that kind of enthusiasm. And I think everybody has something like this somewhere. We don't always know what it is. Okay? I feel like you have a good idea what this is. If not, that's where we get our air energy, is the investigation of this, finding out what this passion is of yours, and, well, start doing it. That is basically the idea here, okay? Now, Spirit's saying that you just got rid of something that belonged to somebody else, okay? I don't know what your situation is right now, but I feel like you had someone else's belongings and you either just returned them or you gave them back or you shipped them off to them or you donated them to Goodwill or something, but you just kind of, you had like some kind of, some kind of a I don't think closure necessarily is the right word, but it might have to do with this 2 of Wands, because I feel like this is, in your recent past, you sort of had a conflict in you about where to put your energy. The will cannot be 2, right? So I feel like this is sort of representing going from a 2 to an ace, from duplicity to unity, right? I feel sort of represents a struggle that was within you about where you're putting your attention. Maybe you had a relationship with someone or something else that was taking up a lot of time, and it's kind of like you wanted to do it, but you didn't really feel the heart. This is where you just feel that passion and that enthusiasm, right? It wasn't really back here. So I feel like this is where you're doing something else, but something other than that was calling to you. Okay? And this could be Well, we could be talking about relationships with other people, friendships. I feel like we're talking more about our physical activities, even though there's not a lot of earth cards. I feel like this has something to do with, the way you're living your life, the things that you're doing. Now, when I say work on this channel, I don't mean your job. I don't mean what you're doing for money. That could be, that's your work too. But work is your great work, your spiritual work, your destiny, your vocation, your calling, right? So what you've been putting your energy and effort into back here in your history, however far back this was, I feel like it's still something that it's kind of fresh in your mind. I don't know when we've decided or if we're still in the process of making this kind of transition of energy. But I feel that you are, I feel that you're answering the call. I feel that the lust card here is something within you, some kind of burning desire inside of you, this passion that needs expression, right? And the 2 to the ace is you answering this call and putting your attention here, which means that you're pulling your energy away from something else, okay? From the other thing that you were doing, and now you're answering the call of that. So maybe you're switching jobs, maybe not. Maybe you still have the same job, what pays the bills, but you're answering the call for what really matters to you. And in the ideal world, yeah, that we're doing what really matters to us, and it's also paying the bills, right? So the job and the work are the same in some cases. It doesn't happen very often, but that's kind of what we can aspire to anyway, right? But regardless of whether that unity takes place or not, what we need to do is answer the call of what this passionate spiritual hunger is in you. This would be the vocation, right? Vocation is different than what we do for money, different than our employment, right? So I like that we have this, a redirection of our energy toward this. And in the future position, a 3 of Wands, this is that we're continuing to pursue this into the future. I think that there are going to be a lot of moments, and the first round of this is going to feel very significant. But there's going to be a moment where you're presented with a challenge. You're presented with a choice that kind of says, and I don't know if it's coming through another person, perhaps, but either way, it's kind of happening within. It's kind of this dilemma. It's a moral dilemma. Okay? Do I continue following this call, answering the call of my soul and following this spiritual desire and this passion? Or do I stop doing that? Because something else needs me. Because there's something else that may seem important. I was going to say equally important, but maybe not equally important. But something else that may seem like it at least is significant enough where you say, do I have to quit doing my passion? Do I have to stop doing that soul sort of work? Do I have to quit following that calling or pursuing that vocation? So it's an ethical dilemma. That's what is, it's kind of a test, okay? It's going to be a moment where something else comes along in your life. Something else comes along and gives you a moment of uncertainty, a moment of questioning. Do I need to leave this? It's kind of like, I just found it. I don't want to leave it now. So what do? Right? Do we find a way to, what takes precedence in your life, I guess? Right? What takes priority? The 3 of Wands is a card of identity, knowing what the right thing to do is, even if the right thing is difficult. I think there will be a moment where you're going to be asked either by another person or by your job or something else is going to happen in life that's going to ask you to give up on your work, your vocation, your calling in life. And we have to find a way to navigate this, okay? So this is kind of something to be prepared for in the future. But let's go down beneath the surface, 2 of Cups. Love, right? This is an expression of your soul. This is really a deep soul desire. Now, sometimes the lust card can just be, well, I'm really hungry. I want to eat food. I really want some gratification right now. I'm going to go make a bowl of ramen noodles or something, right? That I want that now. There's a hunger now. I want to satisfy my hunger. There's a beast in me that wants something, is going to pursue pleasure and avoid pain, right? But with the appearance, well, for one, this is a spiritual energy. So this is different than just having, normal human desires for things, right? For gratification. But we also have the addition of this Two of Cups, which says that this feels right. This feels like something that you are meant to pursue. That this is something that even when the going gets tough, you're sticking with it. There's a saying, when the going gets tough, the tough go shopping. But this is not that. This is, I'm sticking with it even when this is difficult. I love this so much that I'm not going to give it up, even perhaps when there is this dilemma, this kind of this ethical dilemma of choice that arises in the next few weeks. That's going to sort of propose the question or give you the option to quit doing this. Okay, to give you the option to quit doing that. And I think the Two of Cups is down here to really say that there is such an intense love in you for this path, this vocation, this calling, whatever this, I don't know if it's a hidden talent, I don't know what you're doing. It's a creative energy. Okay, it doesn't mean that you're going to be a painter or something, but maybe it is that. It could be a lot of things. Okay. I do feel that there's something with coloring, painting. I feel like you work with colors in some way. I don't know if you do those adult coloring books, or if you do some kind of painting, or maybe you do something on the computer like graphic art or that old paint program. Remember that? But you do something with color, right? Anyway, we have a lot of the twos as well, right? We have 2, 2, and 2, which, kind of give us the 6, don't they, if my math is right. And so I think that this is very important too. No pun intended. It's very important also. The Two of Wands, as much as it is this unification of your will, the will cannot be two, it must be one, right? This is also a card that represents control. That your life is your domain. You hold dominion over your consciousness, over your attention. You get to choose what you look at in life. Right? You can choose to change the channel. I hope you won't do that now. But you have control over yourself and your attitudes, your perspectives, your reactions. You can choose where to direct your energy. Okay? You have to also kind of suffer the consequences of those choices, but you get to choose. Okay? And so having this empowerment, having this realization that I'm in control of my life. I can't control what other people do. I can't control how people react to my life or to my choices, but I can choose what I want to do in my life. I can choose what to look at and what to say I don't want to look at it. Okay, I don't want to focus my energy. I don't want to invest my time, effort, energy, and or money into it. Okay, so this is the realization that I'm gonna choose what I want to do. Right? And then we have the Two of Cups that says, I'm going to choose what I love. I'm going to choose what speaks to me. I'm going to choose what that is deep down in my soul that's trying to get out and get out into the world through me. I'm choosing love. I'm choosing self-love. I'm choosing to fulfill my destiny. I'm choosing to sort of make history here, I'm choosing to go after that destiny. And destiny to me feels kind of like, in every acorn there's an oak tree, right? The acorn is destined to be an oak tree. Not every acorn gets to be an oak tree. In fact, very few, right? We've got some oak trees around here, and they make a big mess. We don't have, thankfully, we don't have thousands of oak trees here. Although that would be kind of nice, because I do love oak trees, and I love ash trees and willow trees as well. And I wonder if that's something. I wonder if you're a tree person. Be honest with you. So the destiny is that potential that we have, and that's kind of like the Ace of Wands here. That we have this will, we have this vision, we have something within us that we can choose to pursue. And our destiny is to become that master magician, to become the one that is, I'm creating myself into the oak tree. Now, there are things that happen along the way that may slow us down or speed us up. We may never get to become that full-grown oak tree, but it's a pursuit worth trying, right? It's an endeavor that's worth our effort. Okay. And so the Two of Wands through the Two of Cups leads to a Two of Pentacles, a change in the environment, starting to take steps along our life in the direction of the oak tree, rather than in the direction of whatever else, the willow tree, the ash tree, the apple tree, right? Maybe that's not the kind of tree you are. So the question then becomes, what kind of tree are you? Okay, so through this idea of autonomy, personal spiritual sovereignty, through the love, through the identification that we have with our image, the oak tree, right? What our potential sort of future could be. Through that, we start making the right choices in life to become that. We start growing in this way. We start realizing that it's up to me to make the right decisions moment to moment. And this is our discernment that comes into play. And this, of course, is discernment. Our discernment comes into play, and we start making the right choices that are going to lead us in the direction of the oak tree, or whatever kind of tree you are. Maybe you're the willow tree. I don't know. I don't know what those seeds are called. I don't know. Well, I guess I do know what they look like. We had a willow tree. It made a big mess on the lawn, but we loved it. The weeping willows, right? Yeah, those are so beautiful. Making the choices, taking the steps. Every moment is basically a fork in the road. And we can choose which direction to go. So when we get that Three of Wands and there is this sort of ethical dilemma in your future, it's kind of saying, well, which way are you going to go? There's something that sort of pulling you over into a different direction. How do we stay on our path toward our oak tree, but also fulfill the obligations that we have toward the rest of the world? How do we fulfill our responsibilities? We're going up here now. Six of Cups. How do we fulfill our obligations to the greater world, our family, our friends, our community, our neighborhood, right? Our world, the civilization in which we live. We have other responsibilities. I can't quit everything that I'm doing and just play drums all day, every day. Every choice I make is, how am I going to get better at playing the drums? How can I learn more about it? How can I play? How can I find more time to play the drums? Everything is drums, 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 drums. In an ideal world, right? That's what I would do. But we realize that the oak tree has many branches, for one thing. Okay, and so part of our oak tree destiny is to be established in the world around us. The oak tree does not exist in a vacuum, right? It's part of a network, a symbiotic network of it's part of an ecosystem, right? So we have to find a balance, a way to establish ourselves as our oak tree and say, I'm going to become what I'm destined to become. But I also have to make sure I got the right soil, the right sunlight, the right people around me. I have to make sure that I stay in good, harmonious relation with the world around me, with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your community, right? The world at large. So the Three of Wands becomes a very interesting sort of choice for you, because sometimes we look at it as, well, maybe it's another two, right? Maybe it's either I follow my passion here, whatever this is, or I leave it and I go this other direction now because this other direction needs me for some reason. So it kind of feels like it's a choice, it's a dichotomy, it's two, it's black or white. It's either I'm staying or I'm going, right? But see, it's a Three of Wands, so it kind of reminds us that there's always a transcendent choice. That if our human life is pulling us in another direction, okay, we can fulfill those responsibilities, but we can also take with us and keep with us and not let go of who we are and what our passions are and what our path is and how we're growing into our destiny, into our oak tree. So there's a way to kind of, I guess, have your cake and eat it too, you know. But that's one of the fundamental sort of dilemmas of the work. Is how do we fulfill our human, let's say our horizontal responsibilities out into the world this way, in the four quarters, right? Out in those directions. How do I fulfill what I need to fulfill that way? But how do I also keep the vertical dimension? You know, it's that age-old dilemma of, do I live a human life or do I live a spiritual life? Well, let's wrap it all up into one. Yeah. And let's live in harmony, both with our soul and ourselves and our destiny and the world around us. And as the magician's going to show us, we can try to arrange our life in such a way where we have the best of both worlds, so to speak. Now, we're going to talk about the path of the serpent. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is free. Your general energy becomes this very detached and objective, kind of big picture, bird's eye view queen of swords, right? For when the queens look back at the past, looking at all the choices that we've ever made in our life, looking back at all the decisions we've ever made, because they have brought us to this moment. Every moment is a decision that has brought us right here, right now. And I think let's focus on this. This is that bird's eye view. You can see past, present, and you can see the future. So this is the card that sort of takes a bird's eye view and is looking at these here, right? Looking at these, the ways in which we offer our attention and our energy in life, right? Are we focusing our attention inward to what is meaningful to us? Are we focusing our attention outward to what is our obligations and responsibilities to our external community, right? The world outside of ourselves. Yeah. So what are we in serve? How are we using our fiery energy? How are we focusing our attention? Because there needs to be a balance, of both. Spirit is saying to discover what this passion is, discover what this talent is, and find a way to incorporate it into your life, and you will be much, much happier in life. Yeah. And this can have an external component as well, right? That can be something that it's not just something inside. It's not something you just do in the privacy of your own home where nobody's watching, right? It's something that maybe we can share with the world. It's something that is going to have an influence on other people. So we have to find a way to not only do the thing, to feel that passion and to work on that and to give expression to it. We have to find a way to share it with the world too. Okay, because that brings the internal and external, the horizontal and the vertical axis into perfect harmony. Okay, into at least some sort of intersection. Yeah. So this is that bird's eye view of looking at the past, looking at all of your choices, and I think you're kind of doing almost like a life overview kind of thing right now. Well, we're still in January, so it seems like this is a good time to kind of get a bigger picture. Let's sort of look at the whole year, and let's see kind of what the year is going to bring or what things we want to accomplish. Let's look at last year and see what choices we made and how well they went, and let's see what we can do this year to kind of keep things going in the right direction. Okay. So this is the card of the overview. Yeah. And the next card is the Two of Pentacles. It is change. A great many things are changing in your life. As you pursue this particular path, I think you're going to have to make decisions about your relationships, the things that you are choosing to put your attention into. And so a lot of things are going to probably lose their luster for you. A lot of things are going to have to just be, I'm done with it. I don't need this anymore. Okay? So I kind of feel that there's a clearing of space out. I feel that there is like a movement, like you're cleaning out some stuff that you don't need. We're kind of thinning out our closets a little bit, you know? We're trying to optimize our lives. This is all magician energy too. Trying to optimize our lives in a way that gives us the most opportunity to do the things that we need to do. Why do I have a million other responsibilities in life that I don't need to have those? That's just extra. That was just keeping me busy. Let's thin out all that so-called busy work, right? So we can just have more energy to focus on what is meaningful to us. Okay? Where can we thin out our lives a little bit? Where can we sort of minimize those draws, those things that pull our attention away, those things that require us to focus on them? Some of those are distractions in a way, right? So the Two of Pentacles, a lot of changes. Make some practical changes. Implement some new things for you. Start clearing out some old things that you really don't need to focus on anymore. Okay? That aren't really helping you on this path in any way. Okay? And this is kind of this is like looking around your room and saying, okay, it's getting too cluttered in here. It's so cluttered I can't really look at what I want to look at. I can't enjoy what I want to enjoy. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. Let me go a little bit more minimal. Trending a little bit toward the minimalism here. You know, I want it to be a little bit more sparse so I can more fully enjoy the things that are here, rather than have so many things that I don't really get to enjoy any of them, right? The distractions is part of our Seven of Swords up here. This is in the position of what we don't want. We don't want any sort of extraneous draws on our attention. We're trying to stay on this ace. We're trying to keep our mind focused on what we want to do. It's like we're trying to just sit at the drum kit and practice and play drums and just enjoy that and feel the pleasure of this, right? But there's a lot of other things that are sort of calling to. It's like as soon as you sit down to do your work, your art, as soon as you sit down to paint, right, you get a phone call. People are knocking at your door. The dog is scratching at the door to go out or something. There's always something, right? And I think that once we finally start to concentrate our energy, that's when our mind notices all the distractions. It's like someone who's sitting in perfect meditation, right? Trying to just sit still and be quiet, and then there's a pin drop, you know, on the other side of the world, and it seems like it shakes our consciousness. You know, it feels like just a loud, you know, orchestra hit right in our bedroom. It's because we're becoming more sensitive. We're becoming more aware of those subtle energies. So be thankful for this, because this is giving you an awareness of things that before would have just taken up all your time and energy, but you never really would have thought about them. And now we're starting to recognize, it's like when you start getting into deeper and deeper into meditation, you start to perceive the subtle. You perceive the blood flowing through your veins. You start perceiving your heart beating more. You perceive your intestines doing their thing, right? You start to perceive your breathing in a different way. You start to perceive your thoughts in a different way. The more subtle and subtle and subtle thoughts. Anybody who's meditating that says, oh yeah, I can just sit down and turn my mind off and no thoughts at all for like an hour, right? I don't believe they can, right? Because I think the better you get at meditation, the better you get at perceiving those subtle thoughts. So somebody that says, I can just sit here right now and not think of anything, they're just not all that in tune with their thoughts, that they just don't see them. And that's what the Seven of Swords is for me in this position. Is this the improving of our perception, our ability to perceive the subtle. Okay, so we're really getting down to like a really like kind of microscopic level here, where we're starting to make those choices. We're noticing the choices. We're noticing the thoughts. We're noticing those little draws on our energy that maybe we didn't notice before, but we're able to perceive things in this new way. And of course, the magician is the sort of the conductor, the orchestrator of all of this. Yeah. Because it is by doing all of this, and I think really putting in the effort to do this, I think does lead to a sense of mastery. It leads to a sense not only of I'm getting better at this talent. Let's say this is your painting, this is you music, this is you playing the drums. This is you getting better at it. Simple, right? But I think this is also giving us a mastery over life itself, a mastery over our world, that now we can perceive energy at such a small level that we're able to make the appropriate changes down to like the microscopic, subatomic kind of level in our own spiritual energy and our own choices and thoughts and things. And so we really are getting better and better and better at creating our own reality. Yeah. And the magician is one that can adapt to the situation. It's kind of like, this is where I find myself, and I'm going to try to be the best oak tree that I can be. So we think of like an acorn thrown into on a sidewalk somewhere, concrete sidewalk. And that acorn says, well, this is where I am. I'm going to try to be the very best oak tree that I can be. Doesn't have a snowball's chance, you know where, right? So the magician can try its very best to thrive in any situation. But the magician can also change the situation to give it a better chance of growing in the way it wants to grow. It's kind of like you wouldn't put an acorn on the sidewalk and say, well, I'm going to hope for the best. You know? No, we'll say, I'm going to take that acorn, I'm going to put it in some good soil where there's a lot of water, where there's some sunshine, where it's protected from wind or from animals digging it up or something. I'm going to try to give it the best chance. It makes sense, right? Makes sense. That's the magician energy. We have to give ourselves the right soil, the right water, the right sunlight, the right nourishment if we're going to fulfill our destiny. Okay? And if we find that we're in a particular arrangement of life that's not really giving us the best shot to become our oak tree, then we have a duty to try to improve that situation so that we have a better chance of growing in that way. Yeah. That's the magician. That's your ability to sort of control, manipulate, and create reality. Let's look at our mystery card. What is this going to be? I expect another magician. I expect the emperor or the hierophant. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Here we go. Two of Swords. Another two, right? So now we've got all of the twos. We got fire, water, air, and earth. You're changing your perception. You're changing how you are focusing your energy. You are changing what you are committing yourself to. You're changing what you sort of like the foundational desire in you. Sort of like the love that is driving every decision that you make. And those decisions that you're making are being implemented. It's not enough to just stop here. Fire, water, air, fire, water, air. Okay, that's great. This is all internal. It's not till we get here that we're actually making different choices in the environment. This is the card of your environment and your relationship with the larger world. So this now, you have this perfect thing. It's all about, the twos are all about choices, about things alternating, right? About being able to direct our energy. It's not just about, we're just kind of zoning in our will, our heart, our mind, our bodies, just going in one direction, and I'm not aware of what that is. And so it's kind of like we're just being pulled around on a train track. We're being pulled around like a toy train on a string. Well, no, now we're taking a conscious interest in all of these levels of being, right? Fire, water, air, and earth. And it all needs to come down to that earth energy where we're actually doing the things. Everything else here is still internal. Everything here is still kind of, in a way, theoretical. It's not until we get to the Two of Pentacles that we start actually rearranging stuff in our physical world. So the Two of Swords is that the sort of missing link, right? Because what did we have before? We had fire and water, and we had earth. But we need the mind. We need the mind to say, okay, that's the decision, and let's implement it. So we need the missing link. Otherwise, there's a gap here. So we need the mind to be that medium through which we can take all of these passions, all of this will, all of this creative energy. It's the link between the spirit and the body. That's what the mind is, right? The link between the spirit and the body. Yeah. So I think this is the perfect component. So get ready. This is going to be a really, really important month. I think next few months for you are going to be extraordinary. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, we'll do an Jing reading. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Aries Monday and Friday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.